I lost my friend Josh last year. He and I were friends for a while, and one of our favorite things to do was play Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. The thing we liked the most was playing Special Operations, aka Spec Ops. Our favorite mission was Hidden, which was the map Chernobyl from the campaign mission, all gillied up, from the first Modern Warfare game. The objective of Hidden was to stealthily eliminate enemies throughout the map until you reach the extraction. Most of the enemies were Russian foot mobiles that would be casually talking and patrolling the map. The other enemies were ghillie snipers. A ghillie suit is a tactical suit with grass attached to it to camouflage into the ground and take the enemy out without them seeing you. The sniper enemies in Hidden wore these, and so did the players. Josh and I would always have trouble getting past the mission Hidden on the veteran difficulty because of the ghillie snipers. They were everywhere around the map and very hard to detect. Josh and I gave up after days of attempting to complete it. On the last day I saw Josh, he told me at school that he had completed Hidden on veteran by himself. I was impressed. He then told me that he was letting me borrow his Modern Warfare 2 copy and took it out of his backpack before putting it into mine. I asked him why, and he nervously said bye and began walking home. This was strange because Josh never walked home. He always rode the bus. I didn't understand what was wrong with him. My plan was to ask him about it the next day. When I got home, I put the disc in my Xbox 360. I signed in and started the game. I was going to see if I could beat Hidden on veteran myself as well. I just couldn't do it. The ghillie snipers were just too ridiculous. I turned it off and went to bed. I woke up that night to a noise that came from the distance. It was a faint scream that echoed from the lake that was near my house. This startled me at first, but I figured it was probably some bird making a weird noise that sounded human. I then fell back to sleep. I woke up to my mom sitting on my bed, calling my name. She told me the bad news that Josh's body was found in the lake. After crying for about 2 hours straight, I just went to sleep. I didn't feel like going back to school. I woke up in the afternoon and turned my Xbox on to yet again see if I could complete Hidden. After a few attempts, I started to look back on how Josh would play this mission. He would only use the knife on the first 4 foot mobiles at the start of the mission and peer over the crates and tanks until he located the ghillie snipers. I tried this tactic and got pretty far into the mission before I was killed by a ghillie sniper that was in a tower. I kept trying, and after an attempt of taking as much cover and killing as quick as I could, I eliminated every enemy in the mission. Then all I had to do was reach the extraction point. As I was approaching it, I heard something come from my TV speakers. It was the same scream I heard the night before. How was it coming from the TV? Before I could process any of it, something happened that I really wish didn't. So, in the campaign of the game, when someone on the team is killed, another team member will announce that they are down. For example, the protagonist's codename in the task force missions was Roach, and when you die on those missions, Captain McTavish will say, "Roach is down." What happened was Ghost said over the radio, "Josh is down." My heart raced. How did this game know his name? I don't even remember that dialogue in the mission anyway. Curiosity had the best of me. I headed back to the start of the mission hoping to see something on the way. When I reached the pond area near the tanks, I noticed that the whole area was foggy. I had never seen this before in the game. I stood back and aimed my intervention at it to get a better view. After a few minutes of examining the pond, I could see someone's head sticking out of it. As he slowly walked out of the pond, I could make out his appearance. It was one of the players for the mission wearing a ghillie suit. The hood was casting a shadow over his face. He then stopped walking. I examined him more with the scope. His ghillie suit was torn up and slimy. After a few seconds, I aimed out of the scope to see that he was right in front of me. I then saw his face. He had glowing green eyes with small black pupils, and his face was missing skin. The TV then went to static before powering off, along with the Xbox. I'm dreaming. I'm just dreaming, I thought. I jumped into bed. I woke up the next morning feeling relieved from a bad dream. I walked down the hall into the living room. My dad then told me to sit at the kitchen table to have a talk. What he told me made my heart drop. It was discovered that Josh was caught kissing a girl the day before he died, who was the girlfriend of the kid at the school who was considered a bully to the other students. He threatened that he and his friends would beat up Josh on the bus, which is why Josh walked home in a hurry that day. The bully and his two friends rode their bikes towards Josh's house before beating him unconscious and throwing him into the lake nearby. Last night, the bullies' bodies were found at the same lake, stabbed to death. There was only one witness, which was the girlfriend of the bully that threatened Josh. Her report was that they were hanging out at the lake late at night and saw a man slowly walk out of the lake and stab the three boys before vanishing into fog. When the police asked her to describe his appearance, she described him as a man wearing a grass suit with glowing green eyes.